What is up, everybody? This is blueandgold.com recruiting insider Mike Singer. Video here to discuss 5 things we learned, 5 things we took away, just kind of 5 general thoughts here about Notre Dame football recruiting in the month of October 1st. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can check out the description. We have a link for that. Anywhere you see subscribe, please subscribe to us on YouTube. It's free. It really helps us out. And if you can give us a thumbs up, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't, really helps out our channel, and leave us a comment as well to tell us what you thought about the video. So getting right into it, 5 things that we learned in October. The first is, one of my biggest takeaways is I just think this recruiting cycle is going to be crazy down to the wire. You have no visits. I think the last recruiting weekend was March 6th. And Notre Dame hasn't had recruits on campus for a real visit weekend since February 1st. So this is going to be wild across the board. For Notre Dame specifically, you're seeing new offers go out. You're seeing the coaches identify new recruits. You got to mention Mansfield legacy defensive end David Abiar. He's been rumored to be a decommitment really for several months now. And with some information, not going to get too into details right now, but you can do your own Google search as well. I mean, David Abiar's situation might lead him to absolutely be outside of the class come signing day. So Abiar is certainly someone to keep an eye on. And again, I'm expecting more offers to go out by the Notre Dame staff in this 2021 recruiting class. And it's just going to be a wild ride. Expect the unexpected, guys. That's always the case with recruiting, but in this cycle, it seems even more so. There's been some movement with some big fish out there for Notre Dame recruiting. You have Dante Thornton, Rivals 100 wide receiver who committed to Oregon. You have Donovan Edwards announcing a top 7 that Notre Dame was included in. I do feel like Michigan is probably the leader in that recruitment. Georgia is certainly involved. You have Oklahoma. And then there's Notre Dame. I feel like it's maybe in that 2nd or 3rd tier of schools in his top 7. But if that young man wants to go to Notre Dame, I certainly feel like he has a spot. And then you have Ceyair Wright from Los Angeles Loyola, ranked as the number 95 overall player in the country and number 6 cornerback. Actually reported news on Friday that he is going to visit, or at least that's his plan right now, to visit Notre Dame for the weekend December 5th. That's when the Fighting Irish host Syracuse. We'll see if he's able to make his way into the game. And certainly, the staff can't have him on a recruiting day visit like they would typically for a game day. So that's tough. But look, this will be Ceyair Wright's 2nd time on campus. He was actually in South Bend last December for the Echoes Award Show weekend. So he's going to make a return visit to Notre Dame. That's at least his plan right now. So keep an eye on Ceyair Wright. Again, Wright, Edwards, big targets for Notre Dame. Next guy I want to talk about is Prince Collie, Notre Dame's All-American linebacker commit. Look, if you read my articles at blueandgold.com, if you subscribe to our YouTube page, you've seen a ton of Prince Collie content. Listen, if you listen to our podcast as well. So I'm not going to get too much into discussing Collie, but he is just super impressive, and that's something that I've certainly learned. I already knew he was a stud. I went and saw him in August in a practice setting. I've seen his tape, but seeing him in person in that game setting in a huge rivalry against Daniel Boone, that musket ball between David Crockett and Boone was awesome, and he was electric. 18 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, also had 8 tackles and a TFL. He is just a big-time player. He's got the size. He has the freak athleticism, super coachable, excellent young man. Prince Collie, again, just a super impressive kid. The 4th thing here, Billy Trout announced a top schools list. I believe it was September. He put out that he had some big news dropping soon, and he did not. Again, this is Billy Trout, 2022 offensive guard from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, St. Mary Springs, right? Number 104 player in the 2022 class and number 2 guard he announced a top 4 group: Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. Those are the 4 schools that he's going to visit after the dead period lifts. When that is, it's currently set to extend through December 31st, but we don't know if, is that going to be the cutoff? Is there going to be more dead period? This thing's going to open up in January. We just don't know at this time. There's been no official word from the NCAA, but those are the 4 schools that Trout wants to visit after the dead period lifts. And I actually have a future cast pick in for him to land at Notre Dame. A lot of people thought he might be committing over the summer or during the fall to the Fighting Irish. He announced the top schools list instead earlier this month, and now we'll just have to see how things progress with the dead period, how things go on his visits, to really determine what's next in his recruitment. 5th and final thing is Kanukia Locks in a Notre Dame visit. We are recording this video on Friday, October 30th, and he is going to be visiting Notre Dame next weekend for when Clemson is in town. Kia is a 6'2", 205-pound 3-star linebacker. Guys, pop on his tape, and you're going to love him. He is an electric football player, and he basically has an unofficial top 4 of Notre Dame, UCLA, Stanford, and Utah. I believe he's going to be visiting all 4 of those schools while he's in the United States mainland. Look, Notre Dame's got a great shot. Again, it's tough when these kids, you have Ceyair Wright, you have Kanukia, they're on campus, but the coaches can't talk to them in person. I don't think they can really do much, if anything, to get these guys into the game itself. But that's going to be an awesome weekend to be in South Bend when Clemson comes to town. And Notre Dame is one of those places that you got to see it, you got to feel it, you got to smell it, you got to touch it to really understand what makes Notre Dame special. So even though they can't see the coaches and really get an in-depth tour of the facilities and all those different things, it's better than nothing. So at least they're getting on campus, and then these 2 guys, Kanukia and Ceyair Wright, them making their way out there on their own dime to see campus really shows just how interested they are in Notre Dame. And other guys have done this. You had Chance Tucker, Notre Dame's cornerback commit. Jack Nickel, 2022 tight end commit. There are other guys. Mitchell Evans, 2021 tight end, visited Notre Dame during this pandemic, couldn't see the coaches, and ended up committing because they just loved it. So we'll see how things go with Ceyair Wright and Kanukia. Notre Dame is looking to finish this 2021 class strong, and make sure that you lock into blueandgold.com for all of your Fighting Irish coverage. You can use promo code BGI30 to get 30 days free access. Try us out, see what you like, and that will be the end of this video. Please subscribe, like, turn on the bell to get notifications anytime we go live. Appreciate you watching.